All right, I need everybody to lock in. I need everybody's undivided attention. Um, I need everybody to lock in. I'm basically naked under this jacket. I got a hat on because my hairline's doing the cha cha slide right now, and I haven't gotten a haircut in 3 weeks. So bear with me, bear with me. But anyway, what's going on? It's favorite yapping-tator, as I like to call myself, Yappenheimer, you know what I'm saying? Yapostradamus, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. Everything in between. Um, Today, I want to go over my Apple Music Replay stats so far for the year, and also talk about my personal favorite album so far this year. If the year ended today, these will be my favorite albums for the year. And sorry, I sound so nasally. Sorry, I sound so monotone. I just woke up from a nap, a fat one too, a big fat one. Without further ado, let's get into it. Bang! All right. Disregard all the tabs on my screen. Um, then actually, all right. Let's get into it. So in January, it shows that I listened for 5,595 minutes on Apple Music alone. I haven't really been using Spotify as much as I use it, like in previous years. So this is a more accurate depiction of what I've been listening to for the year and stuff like that. My top artists were Kanye. Kanye is pretty much a staple, as you're going to see throughout my Apple Music replay so far this year. Clips, we'll say Clips, Pusha T and Malice, like, cause they're one thing. We'll say they're number two. We'll say Kendrick's number three. As you can see, I didn't listen to that many minutes of each artist in January. And we'll say Playboi Carti's number four and Jay-Z's number five. Just because Clips, I can consider them one thing. I didn't listen to Pusha T or Malice more than one or the other because they were both. I had the Clips albums, not just God Sort 'Em Out, but the Clips albums in general, in rotation. Disregard that. um, Obviously, these are some of my milestones for the year, but we'll get into these as the year progresses. I hit a lot of them before February 19th, 7,500 minutes, 250 artists, stuff like that. I didn't hit 25,000 minutes until April 2nd. I didn't hit 50,000 minutes until June 25th. And I looked at my calculator, and I believe I listened to 52,246 minutes, 462 minutes, something like that. In fact, I have my handy dandy calculator right here, and it says I've listened to 52,543 minutes. So I was off by a little bit. So yeah, that's a lot of minutes for the year. Anyway, let's move on to February because this is where it starts to kick up and ramp up, as you can see. And then I listened to 8,581 minutes in February. Once again, Kanye's top two, but we got a different number one. We got Baby Keem because he dropped in February. Thank God he dropped in February. Future, Kendrick, and Brent Faiyaz in the rotation. As you can see, Baby Keem is leaps and bounds ahead of every other artist as far as minutes go. And as you can see, he dominates pretty much the entire top 10 outside of a couple songs of the my top songs, top albums. As you can see, he's leaping bounds ahead with the minutes on my top albums. And yeah, Baby Keem has pretty much dominated my entire year. Move on to March. As you can see, it continues to kick up. Listen to 10,426 minutes in March. Baby Keem is down a little bit, and the gap is a little bit closer between him and Kanye this month. Futures right there, Denzel Curry, and we'll just say Clips in general. and then Baby Keem still having a lot of impact on the top 10. And then yeah, a few different albums. Pretty much mostly March releases in March that I listen to. April went a little bit down, but still steady. About 8,416 minutes. Same top three, different order. Kanye, Future, Baby Keem. Less minutes of each artist this month. Isaiah Rashad is a new one because he dropped in May, but his single dropped late April. Kendrick is up there. As you can see, I overly played the new Isaiah Rashad single that dropped that month. And a pretty eclectic top 10, I would say so. And then we listened to a few different albums that were all April releases in April. Pause the video if you think I'm going too fast. Pause the video. In May, we listened to 9,262 minutes, and Drake is leaps and bounds ahead of every other artist this month, only because he dropped 3 albums back to back to back. He dropped Iceman. Well, technically, if you want to go in technical order, he dropped Maid of Honor, Habibti, then Iceman. So, Drake, clear and cut, the number one artist this month. Isaiah Rashad right behind them. Lucky right behind them because they all 3 of these dropped in May. Kanye, Future. So Kanye and Future are not leaving the top 5, as you can see. And then we have a pretty much Isaiah Rashad dominated top 10 with some Drake and some Lucky in here and some Yachty for some reason. And then Iceman dominated the month. Then you got DRB. Then It's Been Awful. Pretty much my top 3 albums the whole entire year. For as far as this month goes. Then in June we ramped back up. So as you can see, March and June we have 10,000 minutes each. I believe April and May we have around 8,500. And in February, we also have 8,500. But June was a big month. A lot of, well, I won't say a lot of big releases, but a lot of different releases. In our top 5, we have Drake. Once again, Drake back-to-back months as the top artist. Iceman really hasn't left rotation. Habibti somewhat. Maid of Honor was never in my rotation, so... Kanye, Future back in the top 3. Isaiah Rashad, Baby Keem back in his top 5. And then as you can see, Baby Keem is still a steady constant throughout the top 10. More Lucky, more Isaiah Rashad, more Drake, some other stuff I've been listening to lately. And then as you scroll down, all the albums in the top 5 here are all June releases, including this Malcolm Todd, which is a great album from Malcolm Todd. But our number 1 album is pretty different from our other number 1 albums. It's a pop album. We haven't really had a pop album at the forefront of our Apple Music replay so far this year, and it's obviously Olivia Rodrigo, one of the best pop singer-songwriters in the game right now. And then we have Key Glock, a great southern trap album. Wiki, great abstract hip hop, introspective hip hop album. Surrender by Navy Blue, once again another introspective, conscious hip hop record. And I Built You a Tower by Death Cab for Cutie, which is a kind of soft rock, alternative rock album. If you know who Death Cab for Cutie is, that was actually my first ever Death Cab for Cutie album, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. We'll get into that. But yeah, this is my Apple Music replay so far. I'm looking forward to see what July says, especially with releases from Future, Steve Lacy, Ariana Grande, Sid. Who else is releasing this month? There's a few other releases I'm looking forward to. But yeah, let's get into my favorite album so far this year, as the year has been a really interesting year for music. So these are my absolutely favorite projects of 2026 so far. In no particular order. These are just in order of I don't know. There's not really an order to this. No method behind my madness to this. We have ASAP Rocky, Don't Be Dumb. I think ASAP really executed in his first album in 8 years. It's been a really long time since we heard ASAP sound refreshed and renewed and rejuvenated on the album. So I really thoroughly enjoyed Don't Be Dumb. Then we got Brent Faiyaz Icon. I think this was a step up lyrically and also thematically for Brent, and also a step up like um, in maturity from Brent Faiyaz. It was very refreshing to hear for sure. And then we got Baby Keem Casino. Obviously, that's my album of the year so far. Nothing really stopped it for me. The emotional brevity of it, the swagger, the braggadocio is still there, but there's a lot more emotion, and a lot more personal anecdotes from Baby Keem on this album. Don Toliver Octane, just a great head knocking good time. I mean, not really too much to say about Octane. What hasn't been said. One of the best selling albums of the year, hip hop wise. It's one of the best selling albums of the year in general, and regardless of genre. So I really and thoroughly enjoyed Don Toliver's Octane. Ben Staples' Cry Baby, great political statement, great political punk rap kind of esque album. Very, 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 very poignant. Very straight to the point. Very straightforward lyrics. Reminds me of old Public Enemy in a way, but also with a mix of like Body Count. If you know who Body Count is, I think that's a good interpretation of that album from me. Malcolm Todd, Do That Again. I know the Steve Lacy debates are out, but I thoroughly enjoyed this album. I like Steve Lacy too. I like the first two singles from his new album, and I think it's going to be a great album. He has Erykah Badu on the album. He has SZA on the album. I mean, what more can you ask for? And I think Malcolm Todd did a great job executing what he executes, and he's a great artist. I don't think he's a bad artist. I just think, I mean, there's a lot of room for artists like him and Steve Lacy in this space. And then we got Olivia Rodrigo. You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love. Great exploration of a relationship from beginning to end, from ups and downs to turmoil to happy times to everything in between. And we got Isaiah Rashad. It's been awful. Great exploration of the black male diaspora and the different facets of being a black male, whether you're straight, gay, bi, whatever the case may be, and navigating that through lyricism and introspection and just soul and stuff like that. So Navy Blue Surrender, once again, a great conscious hip hop album. Great messaging. Great. I guess you could say wrap up to the trilogy that he started with. Um, I'm drawing a blank. Not Sword and the Soaring. It's the album before Sword and the Soaring. It is mind you. I should have looked this up before. It is Memoirs in Armor. There we go. So yeah, wrapping up that little like intro, like kind of like self exploration trilogy, if you want to call it that. Wiki Ancient History is the next album on this list. Wiki delivered. I loved Half God years back, and this was a great follow up to that. And then finally, Jill Scott, To Whom This May Concern, her first album in like 10 years. Great album, great messaging, great political messaging, great soul. Can't go wrong with Jill Scott in this day and age, and we need more Jill Scotts in this day and age. But anyway, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Twitch down in the description below. Peace.